amigos, amigas, friends, my friends, everybody. You know who this is? Of course, this is Thunder Rosa. And I want to introduce to all of you guys, all of you, this absolutely amazing channel. This is the Dre 41 Gaming channel. And if you haven't seen this, guys, you are watching Dre 41.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dre41, aka Mr. 4K, aka Spicy Dre. And before I even get into this game, yo, link in the description below. Follow this developer. Link in the description below. Follow this developer. We got a new wrestling game in development, man. It's crazy because for so long we had just one wrestling game really to go to every year for a new wrestling game, and now everybody is coming out the woodworks with great wrestling games, independent wrestling games. You gotta love it. As wrestling fans, this make me feel like a kid again. Like different wrestling games, different type of wrestling games coming out, man, and they all separate themselves from each other, and that's such a great thing to have in this community, man. So, as far as this developer goes, man, really cool dude. Eventually, I am going to do my very best to get him on the podcast. You already know what time it is. I find a good wrestling game developer, I'm getting them on. So it's Steve Mason or Masson. It has two S's in it. I do apologize, but you'll see him on Twitter. Definitely follow him. He started this around 2020 with this wrestling game, and he actually updates his Twitter a lot with updated videos, GIFs, whatever you want to call them, GIF or GIFs, it doesn't matter. But this wrestling game looks really, really cool. It has that free feel kind of movement, just like how WWE, I want to say 11 or 12 was back in the day, where you could just set up spots and damage your opponent, and it just looks, it really looks like it has a good start. It really looked like it has a good start, man, with the slow motion when you hit the moves, and also, when you get that huge impact, you see those flashing lights, you know what I'm saying, that whiplash effect. I definitely love that. That's something that I don't think we ever got really in a wrestling game, point blank. I don't think we ever gotten that. I think that is in Ultraviolence Pro Wrestling. I do believe it's in that as well, but we'll see what happens. But look at that GTS. I don't even think this game has a name yet. That's something I'm going to have to ask the developer and see if there's, a name for this. Because, this is such a great game to get behind, man. And listen, if you're a wrestling games fan, you need to follow this guy and let him know that you are very intrigued, very interested in playing this game, man. I stumbled upon it, man, just by other people retweeting stuff. I do try to look and see if I could find a wrestling game developer who I haven't seen before and follow them and see if they want to be on a podcast. Not, just to say, oh, when the game is coming out, but just to let the community know that we have so many options coming down the pipeline. Like I said, even if this is like, just straight generic wrestlers, no real wrestlers at all, gameplay wise, it looks like it could be really, really fun. To be completely honest, this is early stuff. He's been working on this game for, like I said, better part of 2 years, a little bit less than 2 years maybe. So and from what I've seen, it looks like he's the only developer. So for a guy doing this game by himself and able to pump out quality like this, man, he's definitely on the right track. I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on this game from now until whenever this comes out. Like I said, I got a strong PC, and this is the reason why I can play games like this. These are the type of games that I always wanted to play, and a lot of the times with these developers, they usually don't put them on console. A lot of the times they just come out on PC. So getting a PC is definitely important, and especially for me anyway. I don't like to use I like to use a controller. I don't like to use a keyboard and mouse to play a wrestling game. That kind of makes no sense to me. But, you know, whatever. Big drop kick, as you guys can see in that build, man. Just look at the work that he puts in. You know, just the selling animations, how they take the hits, and they can take the hits different ways. That's definitely so cool. I like how there's different variations to the selling. I love that, you know, even though it's early alpha footage, he even made different arenas and also made the physics on the aprons and the different logos on the aprons and also in the ring, and made different base models. And that's so cool to me, because it's like, even though he's in the early stages, he definitely is taking his time to flush it out where he can. I mean, even right now, early alpha, and he already has a crowd. Already has a crowd. Stop playing. Stop playing. Like I said, the goal is to get him on the podcast. That is my goal. That's definitely something I want to do. Look at that drop kick from high up. Look at that. That's crazy. That is crazy. I would love to play this game when it comes out. I would love to. I mean, just honestly, if it doesn't even have to have like a flushed out roster of like 50 or 60. Honestly, you can have a roster of 10, 15, max 20, as long as they have great moves, the gameplay is great and solid. I'll mess with it. You don't even need to have a creative wrestler, honestly. If they're all generic wrestlers, you can just maybe like edit the colors or swap colors and maybe change the small, you know, small parts of the attire. I'm cool with that. You know, it's just the fun factor of what I'm seeing right there. Being able to set up chairs, monkey flip your opponent on them, set up ladders, monkey flip your opponent on them, slam them on them, power bomb them on ladders or chairs or tables. That's the great thing. That's what I really want to see. This game right here is definitely worth you following the developer and just letting them know, you know, liking, retweeting his stuff, man. I mean, look at that. Even got a Tron in the background. And this is early, this is pre-alpha. A pre-alpha, not even version 1 point. This is 0.2.17. Stop playing. Stop, like, this guy is putting in the work right here. So I already reached out to him. You know, I want him on the podcast. We got to get him on the podcast, man. We gotta get in that brain and see what motivated him to make this. What pushed him to, you know, attempt this. It's a difficult feat to make a wrestling game by yourself. I mean, it's a big thing. It's definitely a big thing, man. And if it's just him solo, oh man, that's crazy. That's definitely crazy. I mean, what would you guys like to see in this wrestling game? We have so many options coming out. So many options coming out. It's crazy at this point, honestly, man. But I love it. I love being able to see new wrestling games around the corner. I love seeing new developers step their game up and say, you know what, let's get into this niche of a niche. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Wrestling games don't do numbers like sports games, shooters. It's, you know, a certain core fan base mess with wrestling games. And I just love the fact, like, since the past 2, maybe even 3 years, that so many developers have stepped up and said, you know what, I want to make a wrestling game. We want to make a wrestling game. I'm going to make this wrestling game. It's not going to be just like this. It's going to be my style of wrestling. It's going to be something that stands out. And it doesn't have to be a AAA developer. That's the best thing about it. Shout outs to all the developers making wrestling games. Look at that build. That's so just, oh my god, run on the ladder. You love to see it. Got that one from Keith Lee. Hitting the turnbuckle, boy, I tell you. But yeah, shout outs to all the developers making wrestling games, man. I definitely love it. What you guys want to see in this wrestling game, let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, like, subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Other than that, stay safe. Later.